Hi, Ellen. All right, I'm gonna call the meeting to order. Ginger, would you take the roll, please?
Okay, Harry, here. Marcel, here. Linda. Yes. Bill is not. Laura, here. Joe.
Here,
Oh, Sherry. Corin.
mostly here.
Liz. Here. Emily. Here. Yvonne. Here. All right.
And I wanted to do an approval of October minutes. Did everybody get a chance to look those over? Did anybody want a motion approval?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I didn't want to second anything.
Second.
Joe. Right, now I think we should do introductions. We have a new member tonight. I think you just got appointed. When Jerry and I got reappointed and Annie has stepped away from the commission. So maybe Liz, you could tell us a little bit about yourself and then we could kind of go around and just maybe let Liz know how long we've been on the commission and a sentence about why you're excited to be on the commission.
Okay, I am a Webster resident 10 years now, but prior to that, I went to Webster U, studied a little bit of environmental science. Have always been interested in natives and gardening, and I live on Shady Creek. I have a really wild property that I try to tame the invasives, and that sort of led to a streetwide interest in that. Other neighbors were already interested, but we kind of banded together to try to see what we could do on Oak Street about getting honeysuckle out, and that led to forming a stream team and working together to get more people getting the grants for, you know, all kinds of projects on their yards. And we started a page, and now we have sort of like a larger community effort, and I'm pretty sure that's why I got called out to potentially join this. Here I am.
Well,
I'm excited to be here.
thanks. Okay.
Think about this. I have been 4 years.
This is Linda Green, if you haven't met.
And I'm down towards the Echo Road School end of the community. And my background is freelance writing, and a lot of college teaching. We have to do both to survive. And I've written, I just fell into an interest in this, writing about the clean energy industry, which I've worked for some years. And then I just kind of, you know, got a bone and just will not let it go. It just kind of devours you. So
Plus your last name.
yes.
Natural.
Extra 8, but
So Liz, you know me, because we're neighbors.
Oh, are you?
We're on Oak Street together. So I've known you longer than I've been on. I've been the liaison since I got
Yvonne, and we worked together on the phone. Liz has done a lot of honeysuckle removal and guardianship, so I'm really happy that you're on this commission. And it's a cool commission because they do a lot.
Yeah,
And,
I've watched
so-
a lot of your meetings.
Yeah,
because
we
we
got some cool people. Yes, movers and shakers, so I'm happy to be a part of it.
So I'm Carrie Coyne, and we actually met at the native plant
Yeah,
tour and swap or whatever we were calling that. So I've been thinking about you since then. Thanks, member. My background is landscape architecture and horticulture. And I worked in that industry for a while. Now I work at the community college in the horticulture program. And I wanted to do something for the community. And I worked for Yvonne a lot, and I knew she was doing some great things in the park. So I thought this
Yeah.
was the commission for me.
yeah.
I'm Laura Jordan. I'm an accountant, but I love native gardening and plants and trees. And this is my 3rd year, I believe, first appointment, 3rd year on the commission. Yeah, and I'm really excited to be involved and be helping out.
I'm Ginger Garrett. I have been on the commission, since 2014.
Are you
Wow.
the longest serving?
Yeah.
Bill Haas.
Oh, that's right.
But but yeah, so I joined, we lived in California, Southern California for 10 years. We've been back for 11, but like living there, it's like kind of jungle where we were, and it was
Sure.
crazy. Like I had a potted like banana, like garden, but it wasn't like anything. It was nice to come back and all
See
see trees,
trees, yeah.
like, cause we moved back in May and everything's like, with like all the leaves, the trees were like moved down, and it was pretty great. But I've got, I used to run a daycare, home daycare before a pandemic. Now I teach 2-year-olds the annual preschool. It's fun.
Gosh.
Fun slash baby.
Yeah, it's fun. I've got a 16-year-old junior, a 13-year-old 7th grader, and a 7-year-old 1st grader. Does that sound right?
Sounds right.
Okay. So yeah, so anyway, I dig all the stuff. We're also really active in Boy Scouts. I love clean stream stuff. Loved like cleaning out all that stuff from Deer Creek that we had such a haul. It was crazy on Make Difference Day.
I went down there to check on them and they had their hats on backwards.
It's
Very satisfying.
We like pulled everything out that we could, and then we were pulling out honeysuckle with
Yeah.
our bare hands.
Yeah.
So that's how hardcore we were.
Our first one, we had like 3 water heaters. And it's crazy.
That's great. I've seen a
It's
water
in there.
heater at George Winter Park before. We've gone out on canoes with scouts. And
Yeah.
it's freaky there.
Yeah.
But anyway, good times. Anyway, so that's me.
We've met.
Yeah.
I met you because of honeysuckle removal,
Mhm.
which I've been doing around for a while. I've been on the Green Space Commission for 1 year this month.
Really?
So-
No, that went fast.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
It did go really fast.
Yeah.
I mean.
I was getting interested in volunteering around Webster when we came back in 2019. But then the pandemic hit and I wasn't doing much except I pulled out all the honeysuckle in the road.
That was awesome.
Yeah, and then Ginger said, hey, come join Green Space. So I did. And it's been really good since then. I got interested in this because I'm an archaeologist and I was trained in field archaeology by the region's expert in paleoethnobotany and ethnobotany, which made me really interested in native plants, which led to me being interested in ecology and now. Oops, here I am. I'm still interested in that. Now I'm starting to get interested in stream team stuff too, because of you, and all of you. That's me.
I'm Joe Wilkie. This is my for 1 year with you.
That's right. We
Yeah,
can.
we started at the same time. Live in Webster 10 years now. Certified arborist, worked for the St. Louis County Parks and Rec as forestry supervisor. Trees and outdoor is just like my life. Went to school for landscape management as well. Worked with Yvonne prior to being St. Louis County Parks, ex-employee of Webster Groves. And they had an opening come up and as a resident, I was able to jump on, so.
Yeah. Do you know Deacon Whitaker from a old community? I think he's like a manager for St. Louis County Parks.
Michael Whitaker?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He helps to organize the stream team cleanups on the old community block of Kirkham where it's out of Shady Creek and there's plenty to deal with over there that's still not dealt with.
small world.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's me, so.
All right, thank you, everybody. We do have 2 members missing tonight.
Okay.
Bill Haas, thank you, Ginger, the longest running member of our commission, and Jerry Kinkner. Hopefully you get to meet them next month, or if not sooner. Okay, so we have no other visitors, so we'll go on to old business. I'm gonna add Liz to our schedule for secretary, so I guess it would be December and January of next year, Ginger, if you want that on there. A whole year away.
Okay, that's good because I'll have time to study what you write down.
Yeah, we try to keep them lean and mean.
We don't have a meeting in December, January, February.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. Or we might, yeah, we might, I'll talk to Bill. Bill's a little hard of hearing, so I think he was very skeptical about doing minutes, so we might insert
I
you.
think it would
then.
be kind if we.
Okay, well, why don't we do that? So April, May.
Sounds good.
Um. Then we can go, you guys kind of started talking about it already, but Mad Make a Difference Day update. Do you want to kind
Sure.
of give us
So,
your update and then we could hear from members who participated?
yeah, I think it was very successful. So we had the group down at Deer Creek and they removed a ton of trash and honeysuckle. And, we had a group of Rotarians at the service center who removed all the annuals out of the containers. That really helped us a lot because we were down to like 2 people in horticulture right now. And then Corin kind of had the toughest job. He was over at Ivory Crockett Park and they were trying to drill holes through asphalt to put
Oh my gosh.
fence posts in, but we've since have put the fence in, so you'll be
How'd you
happy.
get through
to know
the
that.
asphalt?
We
What'd you
bought new
do?
teeth for the auger,
You did.
so anyway, it looks better, and we've had a visit from MDC to look at the project, and they wanted to take pictures sort of as it goes along. So they were pretty happy with that. And
Can I tell a story about Ivory?
Were you like
Real quick.
manpower?
It was like me and what's the man's
Mike-
name?
Mike Carter.
Mike and I were the only ones there and we were waiting around for volunteers and nobody else came. So it was just the two of us. And Mike's like, I've spent 20 minutes trying to drill through this and there's like a solid layer of asphalt, so we can't put the fence in. So it's just like him and me staring at this giant pile of mulch. We moved all the mulch in 45 minutes and I went home. There we go. That's why.
Nice.
It looks nice.
We'll call you the mulcher.
Down at Lorraine Davis, we had a group of stream teamers cleaning up and a group of scouts that ended up spreading a bunch of wood chips and sort of increasing the riparian corridor. So my goal is to keep
Widening it.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And there was a group of scouts at the nature sanctuary over off the Swan. And we just cleaned up honeysuckle that they pulled out after that. And then city hall projects, so they prepped that bed, the gardens prepped out and ready for plants.
And that'll be spring, right?
And then
Who was here doing that?
Bill was here.
Bill was, yeah, and I think there was just a one
The
guy.
father's
son.
son team, yeah.
Yeah. And so they got everything they're supposed to, so I thought it was very successful. What I'm kind of shooting for down the road is to have a volunteer site sign up on the city's website, so we don't have to go through the Deer Creek Watershed Alliance. Just because it's worked for them. Plus, I think if the city has a calendar that is a volunteer calendar, then I can post events and say, Parks is gonna be at this park if you want to join in, and have more opportunities throughout the year rather than just a couple big ones.
Just all the people who signed up were collecting seeds, we had quite a few.
Yes, yes, and that was.
They were
fantastic.
just jumping at bit. Well, where can we do more?
Yeah.
Is
And
there
it's-
a way to get those out to like Webster Groves Nature Society?
Witness, yes, witness.
And to stream team, I mean, we don't have a huge following, probably 100 people, but active volunteers, like, I mean, I can always forward those on and try to get more volunteers that way.
It seems like if we could assemble, and sustainability is gonna collaborate with us too. We could assemble an email list that we could just blast email. I'm not sure how to do that.
Well, I think that website's gonna
Yeah,
work for that.
Yeah. And then we'll have a waiver that you click on and you're permanently waiving the city for all future projects, so we can get rid of the
One-time.
paperwork
That's great.
sign up thing. So,
Is there anything you need us to do to like,
I think it will
Be an
happen. I think
advocate
it's
for
just
that, or-
I think everybody's on board. I think it's just a matter of whatever Jenny has on her plate
okay,
and how she can fit it in. It would be my goal to try to get it done by the end of the year, the beginning of next year, but I don't know. Emily, if you can kind of help facilitate that, that would be wonderful. But I think everybody wants to, and they think it's a good idea. And I asked Jenny to sort of browse the Deer Creek Watershed website to sort of see what that looks like, so. Because I think it's a really good format. And then we have 200 people on that list alone, the volunteers.
maybe that's something like commission chairs, the commissions could work
Yeah. and-
directly with her on and even be able to put information on. there.
Yeah, because I think it could be more than just a green space.
Oh, definitely.
It could be a sustainability volunteer for,
In
and
public
like,
works.
yeah, we were talking before about having, you know. Have some sort of a name for it, you know, I mean, it could be greenkeepers, but it could be, it's gonna have to be sustainability keepers.
Like if it's a, if it's an
Yeah.
event, yeah.
There's-
Hey,
there's-
Terry. Oh, yeah.
So anyway, I thought it was very successful and I think next year we can maybe do a better job of advertising. I think we need new yard signs. I think, you know, getting the word out more would be better. But it changed hands on who was administrating it this year. So she kind of was, you know, just like 2 weeks before, it's like, oh, I'm in charge of. So I think it'll be better next year. Hopefully they assign someone sooner than later. So.
Everybody was so fast. We had the Firehouse 2 open house, so I went to that first. And then I left that and went by Ruby Park, and there were a lot of volunteers still there, but they were kind of like winding down. And then I got to City Hall and they were cleaning up, and then I like went by Ivy Crack and you were done with, you were gone, but I could see where you've been. It was empty, and then I went to Deer Creek, and so
Yeah.
I felt like I was like chasing the activity. But there was a lot of good stuff going on, and yeah, people get done quickly, you know. it's
Yeah.
not gonna happen, so
I think it
it's
would be good if we, even if the Lions do not want to do a barbecue, I think people do really look forward to having that. Something instead of just the hot dogs and, you know, people always ask. And so we haven't had it the last 3 years, so I still ask, so.
Wonderful. I bet they would, and also they didn't know about Make a Difference Day this year for some reason. So when I asked them if they're participating, they said they hadn't heard anything, and I guess they reached out, and so they decided to do something the following weekend. To kind of not compete with it, or, you know, they just were worried they wouldn't have volunteers. And they did do a hot dog thing where you like, they made a donation to something and you could drive by and go get one at the end, and they made it for all their volunteers. But I mean, we did a picnic in August that was a pretty big turnout. They're really good at putting the food out, and like they have a good routine for that, so I bet it would. And that'd be a great way to draw more people to their sites for cleanup, because there's plenty to do over there. There's so much honeysuckle, and we're trying to get it cleared enough that they can do some planting and also do the same, like widen that corridor and get some plantings on this side of the creek, on the north side of the creek. Some native stuff, so.
Anybody else have any other stories they want to share from
The squash.
the squash?
We found this huge.
It was
gourd.
clearly a volunteer,
Yeah.
like,
It was like, it was hanging at, I mean, you know the name of the hill, right? That's the name of the hill.
Yeah.
Suicide Hill,
Oh.
the sledding hill. So,
I didn't, I guess.
yeah, you know. Because it's very steep.
And it was hanging out of the.
So it was just that we were getting trash that had been like, that was just hanging places and had been washed there. And there was a gourd, I guess, hanging
like,
in
it's
like
huge.
I don't know how, but it was this big easily. Yeah.
Did he
It
grow
was
there?
gorgeous.
There?
Yeah,
It grew there?
yeah, it
It's
was,
wild
No.
native.
It was a volunteer. Something.
yeah, a volunteer, I guess. Yeah, not that
There's-
was
down the
there's
street.
native ones.
Okay.
Do we have, there's at least one.
Anyway.
Much smaller, yeah.
So.
Funny.
But it was
Sure, we have a-
amazing. It was like finding a treasure.
We found also like a bunch of beeswax, like we were thinking that we probably had like the most valuable find.
Yeah.
Like a hive, a native
No,
hive had
like
been
just like bees, like, you know, like it was like the cleanup probably from all the flooded homes
Right.
there, and then it got washed out again the next flood. And so it was just like these huge squares of beeswax. I mean, I guess they were gonna do something with it, but that stuff's expensive.
Oh,
isn't it?
yeah.
I mean,
So making candles now.
We
We
didn't
found
make
a
it to
prom dress at
over-
Lorraine.
Oh my gosh.
That's concerning. Unexpected.
You probably got lost there, you know. in the flood.
Oh, there's
Okay.
turtle. We found a turtle.
Yes, yeah, we saw.
A
box
living
turtle, right?
turtle, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Kim must have the picture of. I don't
okay.
have it, but you guys would like to see the picture. Oh, and I do a picture of the beeswax. And here's our turtle.
Nice.
We have a family of wild turkeys on the street. I've been here like 3 or 4 years now.
I miss our turtle.
They live in the park.
They come up and down. We like to cite them and then post them on our little neighborhood page, like. Okay, well, they're down at.
Okay,
That's
Thank
so
you for
weird.
sharing.
I'd have to go back and, yeah, but anyway, found the turtle.
All right.
It was
Hey,
big.
Carrie.
Yes, Jerry, how'd it go at Ruby?
Yeah, it went great. Really good. Big turnout. A lot of people came back from the October 1st prep and got everything planted. Green Space Advisory Commission contributed $200 to the plants and a lot of replanting and a lot of new bulbs too. And we were done. I was heading out towards Colorado by 10:30 a.m. So
Wow.
we got done
Yeah.
early.
Yes,
And everybody wants to look forward to future projects. So I think we have gained a lot of volunteers and a good connection with the Webster Groves Women's Garden Association.
cool. Well, it should be a good spring then for the pollinator patrol.
Yeah.
All right, is that what you wanted to say, Jerry?
Yeah.
Okay,
Just a shout out to the Green Space Advisory Commission to help contribute to the plants.
hey Jerry, before you hopped on, we did introductions to our new member, Liz. Liz, what's your last name again? James. James, do you want to give just a real brief introduction, maybe how long you've been on the commission and a sentence about why you like being here?
I don't know when I joined the commission, sometime during the pandemic, I remember, sometime in 2020. I've always loved gardening and we have a lot of connections and starting a lot of projects. I've been leading the Mayor's Monarch Pledge and with Linda, just expanding our projects and speakers and just look forward to continuing to grow.
Thank you, Jerry.
Sorry, I'm walking in my car from work.
All right, the next item of business then is the Trees of Distinction program. I do have extra nomination forms. If anybody has a tree, they will.
Has anybody actually nominated any trees? Have you seen anything come? through?
There was someone at Ruby that said she thinks she has the biggest tulip tree, at least in Webster Groves, and not the region. So,
You have a name?
yes, I asked her to go ahead and nominate it.
Once they're nominated, is it forever? That one's been nominated and then it's new ones after that, or do they repeatedly get?
Well, we try not to repeat the same tree, but a tree can definitely be nominated more than once. It doesn't win. It goes on like the official list. If it does win. But we've had a tree nominated 1 year and it didn't get selected, so we just pushed that nomination forward to the next year.
How many get selected?
We do one private tree. In the past, we've done a private tree every year.
Yeah.
Meaning like a homeowner's tree. And on occasion, we have done a public. Like a public tree at a church or a school or something like
Yeah, I
that.
think the idea is to try to nominate a tree or have residents nominate a tree that you can actually see from the street, so people can actually enjoy it. We've had trees nominated in the past that were like in the backyard, and you couldn't see it from the street, but you get in the backyard, and it's not that's big, but nobody else can see it unless you knock on the door. So
We like to try, I mean, you want to talk a little about the diversity of things we try to do?
So, well, I guess this is my second year of doing it. So in the past, it looked like it was large or native or unique to the area trees. But I think what we're trying to go with this upcoming time, like if this,
We were just hoping, I think, to diversify. Maybe modify what's considered a tree of significance, like It might not be just a big old tree, which I think is what people think of.
Yeah,
It may be a more unique tree or a tree like a redbud that has amazing form. It's not necessarily a big tree, but
Right.
we were trying to kind of go native, but
Yeah.
potentially we've given non-native trees the award in the past, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But we're trying to focus more on native trees now.
Yeah.
So Joe is this year again, thank you, sort of spearheading the review of the nominated trees and then just bringing to the commission his recommendation for what
Yeah.
that tree would be. And we've been trying to spread the word a little more. And we're trying to, we moved our deadline, right?
so like now.
No, I
Yeah.
thought it was December.
or December
Well,
1st.
it's small pictures, so
Yeah.
we're really trying to push it.
So.
Hey, Joe,
Yes.
is a bald cypress considered worthy?
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cause I got a well over 100 foot. I was talking with I don't know who else was there, maybe you, Yvonne, at the Ruhi with the woman talking about the tulip tree, cause we got a,
Yes, and
huge bonsai.
Valerie was the person with the tulip tree, Valerie.
okay. We have a huge bald cypress, but
Yeah, I'd say
We did.
nominate.
Well, can you nominate that, Jerry? And could one of you guys talk to Valerie? I guess Jerry, could you reach out to Valerie?
what was her last name, Yvonne? I can't
I
remember.
have to look on the list.
Okay. Well, between Yvonne and I, we can reach out to her. I will.
Okay.
And once the tree's nominated, I'll go out and take photos and I'll measure the height and the DBH of the tree and present all the findings to the group and everybody kind of yay or nay, and then we'll submit that to the city, and I guess it goes on the website. I don't know if they put the blackout on the website. I haven't checked last year's winter, but
I don't know.
Yeah. check.
It gets recognized at the Arbor Day celebration that we have.
I think
We
I saw
ask the
one.
homeowners to come.
Her name,
Is that-
last name is Murray, Jerry, I just remembered it.
Okay, if you get, we can email about it tomorrow.
Okay,
Is Joe's, I think it's 58 years old because my wife planted it when she was 1. Is that
Wow.
of note, or it will be around for a number of years? We can do it next year. or-
I nominated, I mean.
Okay, cool.
So then will this become the 2023 tree of distinction? Because there's one for 2022 listed already, the black tupelo.
Yeah,
Okay, so we're selecting for 23.
because it's right, it's awarded at 23.
And then the public tree award we must not have had last year, because the last one on here is 2021.
Correct. And I think we skipped it here because.
Yeah, there was a skip before that too. And then there's a tree stewards award too.
oh, yes.
Yes, usually
Thinking
we
about that.
nominate a tree steward, so someone in the community who's doing a lot for trees, basically, and at a community level, really. Last year was Tessa Wasserman. Before that was,
Schweitzer's.
yeah,
That's a good choice.
yeah. So we can think about that. We don't need to land on that, but we do need to land on.
If there's any trees nominated, I can look. We're not having a meeting in December,
Correct.
so. Between December and the January meeting, like I'll go out and measure the trees and we'll set the vote then theoretically, maybe, is that the idea? Or wait until February to vote? What
No,
happens?
I think if you wanna make. Why don't you give us a report in January? On what you found and make your recommendation, and then we can,
Vote on.
maybe everybody could go look at that tree, and then at the next meeting, we could vote on it. How does that sound? Yep.
Perfect, that works.
And if you want to see the ones from previous years on the city website, just search for tree awards. That's how it came up for me.
And you could look in the file, Joe, that I gave you and see if there's anything in there that was nominated
In the past.
previous
Yeah.
that you think was really something we should go back and revisit. Okay. I think that's.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions, anybody about that? Okay, then let's move on to the next item of business, which is the pollinator patrol update. from Jerry and Linda. You may not have a big one right now, since we're kind of winding down the season, but
We have the Mayor's Monarch Pledge report is due online in December, so I'll be submitting that by mid-December. You fill it out just online.
okay. Does Laura need to, Mayor Arnold need to sign anything, or does she?
I don't think so. I'm just the I don't know what you call it, the person inside the website for
The-
Webster and
The administrator, probably,
administrator. Thank you.
yeah.
And it's just kind of like an update and reporting on the number of action items and I'll see if we hit, I forgot, Linda, was it 10 or 11? We get special notoriety. I forgot. I think we were at 8 action items on the website.
Right, we
But-
did. And a lot of those we just do all the time anyway, so. It's really the pollinator plots that are the ones we've really done this year. Because we've had talks and we've had some of the other things.
Well, maybe at our January meeting, Jerry, we could pull the website up again and take a look at it
Awesome.
with the
I know
update.
we added yeah, we added a little more to the education component because we went out to Dixon and visited their sustainability class and garden and are building a relationship with them for future projects.
Cool. And I assume there's no volunteer projects now, maybe until spring.
Yeah, not until Ivory Crockett and City Hall are ready to be planted. Those, are, as far as I know, are the next ones up.
Well, maybe we could think over the next couple of months about putting some dates to that if possible, and a work day in Rui.
Yeah, as soon as Yvonne has those and can coordinate with Linda and the next speaker talk, we can advertise it there for the dark
Yeah.
skies or whenever the dates are ready.
Right, that'll be good. And then I do have some extra handouts that we put together that just talk about the pollinator patrol, kind of volunteering. So if anybody wants any of these, you could take them. Is there anything else you guys wanna talk about on that specifically? I know we're gonna talk about events in a minute. Okay, cool, thank you too. The stormwater subcommittee group.
Yeah,
Did you get an email today
from who?
from Laura?
I think you were the only one on it.
Okay, so we got an email from Laura Arnold today. She had been, I think, since she's still pretty new, she's still getting through all her paperwork, and she found a master plan for stormwater
We
from
have one?
Wow.
from 2002. So
That's a
it's
start,
20 years old,
yeah. That's
but it
good
is
news,
a
though.
start.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think, we were at the point of, just for your information, Liz, we had a letter drafted and written that we were going to present to council, basically from our commission and from the Sustainability Commission saying, city council, we'd like to recommend that a stormwater master plan is completed and, projects are identified. We were just sort of making that recommendation, hoping to spur on some planning. So I think it's good, and maybe it
I
gives a
agree.
little baseline for them, but it
Yeah.
seems like now is 20 years is that's a long time. So updating that master plan and reprioritizing still seems like it should be something that the
And no
city.
doubt the flooding is increased.
Yes.
Right. So I think,
Let's pivot, rewrite the. letter.
right, exactly. So I reached out to Jamie today. And I just haven't heard back from her, short notice. So I was hoping that maybe the 4 of us could meet again and.
Before I present to council.
Well, I think that's too soon, probably.
After I present to council.
Yeah, I think probably unless we talk to Jamie and we get a little further, I think we just might not make that part of that.
Okay.
Meeting.
So I'll
Yeah.
just update council on,
What
Our
we've done.
we're
activities.
so successful.
Yeah, and we can, I put that on us, so let's talk about that in a
Okay.
minute.
Yep.
And you got the email about the time frame.
I
and how
do,
many
yeah.
minutes.
So our update on the stormwater subcommittee is that we're regrouping,
Delay.
pivoting.
Yeah.
And we're gonna move forward. I'm excited to look at that master plan and maybe I will forward that to everybody.
Love to see it.
Yeah.
Well, hold on though. We were talking about how this is a pressing need. That speed is desirable. Maybe if we pivot now and don't do this month, it'll get delayed all the way to January. Do we want to wait that long on something that is kind of pressing for the city?
Do you have any thoughts, Emily?
I mean, if you already have a spot on the agenda coming
Yeah.
up.
Well,
And it's primarily to just give an update to.
right, so we were asked, a few weeks ago, a couple weeks ago, if we wanted to present, I think, a spot opened up on the council's agenda. Cause something fell off and they reached out to the commissions and said, hey, commissions, do you want to give an update? And I thought, yes, I do. I can't be there, so Corin was gonna do it, but then I thought that would be a good time if Jamie was gonna be there, that we present this letter as well. But, the 15th of this month, so
My
it's.
Boy Scouts are actually gonna be there, bringing a merit badge, so.
So that may, that, Corin, that was sort of my idea, maybe that's not even the appropriate place to do that or time.
I mean, I think it's a fine time. So traffic advisory was there this last past meeting, and they gave an update on kind of what they're looking for, and council gave some direction, and they talked about, I think it's complete streets.
Yeah,
So they talked, so that's kind of analogous, I guess, right,
Mm-hmm.
to this. So I think it's fine to, if you feel ready to come and talk about, like, this is where we are, this is what we need to do, is this the right direction?
okay, well,
I think that's fine.
okay,
And I
my,
can do it really swiftly. I can say,
Well-
recognizing a need, we spoke with experts, recommended a plan. The mayor says we have a plan, so we now recommend an update to that plan. It would take just that long.
right, I think we just need to talk to Jamie.
Okay.
First,
Yeah.
Sounds good.
so it's sort of,
Yeah, it's
there.
a joint,
Right.
I'm guessing it's a joint subcommittee that would be presented. So,
Correct.
Yeah,
Since it's subcommittee business, we can pick it to email without there being any problem,
Yes.
right? So.
and Jamie's presented several times recently.
Did she-
So she would be. a good
I was
candidate,
wondering
right?
if she was on that agenda for the 15th, do we
I
know?
don't know that I've seen the agenda, but
Okay, well, I'll talk to Jamie.
Okay.
And then we'll be in touch.
Sounds
I
good.
can let Katie know that you might want to work together. With sustainability.
Sure.
Okay.
Bits on their schedule.
Yeah, I guess you could ask,
yeah.
could we do that?
If anybody
That
wants
would
me
be
to
great.
mention something for our general update,
I
we
do
can
have
also-
that on
You've
here,
got that
so
too.
let's talk about that in a moment, if you
Okay,
don't
yeah.
mind.
Of course.
Did you have any? Okay. Awesome, then the last. Item of old business is upcoming events. We, for the past, I don't know, how long have you guys been having speaker series things in there? 10 years?
Long time.
Long time. So, this group has organized, basically community, open to the community, events where we bring speakers in to talk about things related to green space.
That's four series of
Yes,
that'll talk about all the stuff we do,
right.
and we've had attendance problems until.
Well, we've had some good turnout in the
Yeah.
past. COVID slowed the whole thing down, so we're trying to pick back up. So we've got a couple things on, we were throwing out ideas, so Linda put together an Excel sheet that I think she sent to everybody. I don't know if anybody's responded, but I know the stormwater, clean water kind of thing was a subject that I thought we should be pushing forward, and Joe as well. And then we were talking originally, and I think it's still a great idea to do dark skies, something in, is that January, February?
And Jamie wants to be.
Jamie does, good. So you want to just give an update on kind of where that
Where we
is?
are. We only had, Laura suggested, why don't you tell us?
Oh, Stacy Arnold.
Yes. Deer Creek watershed, I need,
Oh,
Joe.
to talk about their, like, their grants or
What-
just the
well, we were
watershed?
con- You know, I think most people don't know what the Deer Creek watershed is. And Joe touched on it in his, he wrote. We should have sent it to everybody, you're beautiful, heart.
That was last minute.
Let's see if I can encapsulate this, or maybe you can, because what you want to do is, it just loops what. We talked about, which also feeds into the whole stormwater. thing,
Yeah.
but You mentioned in your letter that most people that were part of 2 watersheds.
Right.
No
River
one
Clear
knows
watershed
that.
and Deer Creek watershed.
And
so-
I think people drive over Deer Creek without even knowing what it is. And yet we complain every time it floods, so why not get, you had in mind 3 speakers on the same night? So like a panelist.
Yeah. So Danielle Hake. Webster resident, and she's got her PhD. I don't know what she have it in water. Yvonne, you know more about her than I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know she,
Don't know what her exact PhD is.
so she did a study on like road salts and like the amount of chlorine that goes into Deer Creek and repair. She is a Webster resident. I also thought about the blue to blue conservation, and they put the trash trout in at Deer Creek that collected all the flood debris or trash going before it went to repair. And also thought maybe if we can corner Big Muddy Adventures as well. So have like what we do in Webster, whether it's runoff from yard chemicals, road salts, affects what happens not just Deer Creek, but River Repair, Mississippi River, all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico. Then you also have the people that are volunteering their time to collect trash. And then you also have the recreational side as well. It's like all these things that we do in our 2 watersheds affect more people than we realize. So just trying to like lasso all that together on one night. So,
Give people an overview of how we all fit.
yeah.
So the stuff we do on our little lawn.
I like that.
affects
A lot of
everybody.
people- Sorry, go ahead.
I would just, it seems like one person at Fedview could sort of needs to tell that story of these 3
Yeah,
people.
and I can
And
do
then
that.
those people come and tell their
Right.
part of the story, or else it might
Mhm.
seem kind of,
Yeah.
Disjointed.
Well, and my background is, Yvonne knows when I worked for Public Works, on my lunch breaks, I would just go fish the creek behind the shop. If I fish, catch bluegill and creek chubs, and you and I floated
Yeah.
that a
Drug
couple years
our
back,
boats
drug our boats through there.
Through Deer Creek.
I fish river to pair as well, and there's substantial large fish in there, there's big fish in there. So,
These huge fish are river to pair.
and I can talk on that as
Everybody
well,
knows that.
to fill the gaps and kind of tie it all together, so,
Do we want someone that talks about flooding? I mean,
yeah,
because it's such a hot topic.
absolutely.
Well, Bill Chris is a professor at.
sounds more like a half a day.
Yeah.
Then it's-
Right, you give everybody.
On list already, but
No.
his name, because I know he walked Shady and he walked. Like when that development was gonna happen, and he was just kind of looking to see what he thought about the flooding and potential development.
He was there with Stacy. With, what's his face, Larry
Larry.
Bill
Chapman, no.
was with Larry. He did not come speak to council.
No, we did a walkthrough, and I think
With,
that's.
well, we never got.
On site.
Oh, okay.
Because
Well, I
Chapman
walked
went
the site with him
talking
too,
to
but
him.
I didn't know he came back. His life work is urban flash flooding. He knows a lot about river repair, St. Louis. Rivers and creeks in general.
This could be 2 talks.
Yeah.
I mean, it could.
Uh-huh.
In my mind, it's just like, I thought off the top of my head, just these 3 people, 2 of them I know, Blue Conservation, because I volunteer with them, and Danielle helped me with my kids' science project for Ed Edgar Road about watersheds and all that stuff, so,
Yeah, Stacy's awesome.
yeah. So, I mean, I'm not opposed to that. I guess in my mind, it's just like 3 speakers or even 4, give everybody 10 or 15 minutes, just like a condensed, just try to like
Yeah.
raise awareness moving forward, is that what we do here affects everybody elsewhere, you know?
And
so.
maybe Bill is someone better just to come talk to us one night than to speak to public and just to consult with about
Right. Not in a big-
Webster in general.
Because I would like, I mean, Stacy Arnold's. Great. I was thinking if we did 2 evenings of this, divide all of these people into 2 evenings. We could do one in June at the Pavilion in Morrison Park and just go look at the creek. Visually.
Yeah.
It might be good if we do 2 things to have someone from MSD
Yeah.
come and talk about their grants that are
Yeah.
available.
Maybe the same night as Stacy, because those are sort of tied.
Right.
I know MSD is 100%, but you can only do one or the other, so they sort of monitor who's done the Deer Creek watershed one and who's done this.
So the MSD one is, you don't have to be in Deer Creek watershed, right?
And it can be larger, right?
Yeah.
Larger. Financially, yeah.
So,
And big money would fit in how.
Sort of the ultimate goal is that it's of recreational use, that
Yeah.
we actually live in a region where we have the outdoors and the rivers and all these things we're not taking advantage of as a destination, you know?
Well, you said that Missouri DNR had set a goal to make Deer Creek usable for recreation.
Yeah, I
by
think it's in the
next year.
archives of the Deer Creek watershed.
Yeah.
In
That
what
was where they're
way?
marching.
Fishing or
Like safe enough to, you know,
Actually,
play.
Fish to
Yeah.
wade in.
to walk into,
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
to not alert your children that they're.
Yeah. Get the E. coli out
Yeah.
of it.
so, okay, so maybe that's a 2-night thing. We do it 2 months in a row or something.
And there's a lot of interest.
Yeah, and I
Float trips.
I think people have that fear of missing out. And so to say it's free, but you have to reserve your seat. And
Yeah.
to, if we have the city's website up and running for the volunteer/speaker series, then people have to reserve their spot and they know if we have 30 people or 40 people.
Yeah.
We've been holding these in the library, which is,
Yeah, that's been
It's a nice.
rough.
it's,
It
I mean,
is.
it's, everybody knows where it is and it's kind of.
Yeah, But I like the idea of outside in person. I think that's a great idea.
Did you do one there one time? Because I feel like.
Yeah, we've had
one.
The rec center too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've done, it's just the library, what's nice about that is that they're really eager to promote books, even related to, so we have this little PR helper.
Yeah. And I'm betting that the Sustainability Commission will want to be involved with this too.
And I can send the email I sent to you and Linda out to everybody so they can read it. This is
Yeah,
With the pictures.
with pictures, yeah. I'll send the photos too.
yeah. Well,
It was just last minute last night because I knew you had asked to get topics put on the
Yeah.
agenda
Yeah.
tonight, so I'm like scrambling to.
Yeah. But I think that's on everybody's mind, so that's a really good one. I think we need to pin down some
Right.
dates.
The other things that have been suggested in the talks
Mhm.
meetings is we want to do a no mow month. Are we still?
I
Is
would,
that too much to,
What is it?
a no mow month? No mow month, no
It's
mow
usually no-
May
it's
has been
usually no
getting a
mow
lot of,
May.
because it started in England. And their seasons start later. We're
Right.
done by May, so we have to have no mow April, which is not poetic, so if we did.
No more month.
Which would be April because we're. 'cause it's
Then you're
really-
thinking about the pollinators when they're most
Yeah.
using.
Oh, no, Mo. I'm like,
No
no, no,
mow.
Mo. I'm like,
Right. That's part, I mean, that's part of our flush or push to, yes, where
So maybe that should be in March.
March.
Oh, yeah. I don't know how early, yeah, sometimes.
And I can talk to Scott Woodbury if we wanted, I forgot who we talked about using for that.
Well, no, let's see, we had
We had Glenn Kramer talking about,
lawns, but, you know, there's been so much changing on lawns because there are now these new lawn mixes of seeds and half clover and I don't know. if we have them yet.
Sustainable term.
that was Glenn
Yeah,
Kramer.
sustainable ground covers, that I said that. And we talked about Charles Caverly, who does native plants. And he might be the one to do, because he's,
he would be. good.
there's Ed Spivak at the
Oh, yeah.
zoo. And Dr. Camilo at SLU, he's doing this massive program. we are now the B capital of the universe, city, because we have more species, because he's planted, wildflowers, so
We have some
grass back.
found species, yeah.
So,
I know him. and
But
I'm
they're
in
busy.
department with him, If you want me to talk. to
Oh,
him
yeah.
about-
yes.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, we don't have a contact, but we do.
Give him that department.
I heard he spoke to Wildsman, and he is hysterically funny. I mean, it's-
You know-
So we want to do it in March before our no mow month.
I can talk to him, and there's another option. His former graduate student, Rachel
Yes.
Grant, is now employed at Mobot. And she is a former student of mine.
Yes.
I can guarantee you, she will come talk, and she is also a good speaker. So she's a pollinator expert and entomologist focused on pollinator plant interactions, so.
I don't know if March is a hard month. But
Or-
we were
or-
doing,
We don't have anything, what do we have, February open?
Guys.
Well, we have dark skies in January, so,
okay, and are we still trying to do this third Thursday? of-
yeah,
is it
I
the
should
third
mail all those
Thursday?
third Thursdays.
Yeah.
I'll nail that
So
down.
spring break starts the 17th.
It's just the speaking, the
Yes,
speaker
Oh.
series. We've been
Thought we
trying
were
to
doing
do
last Thursday of the month.
the
Well, we
last
went-
Thursday.
Yeah, Linda, our April, May, June
The
talks,
last
I think they
Thursday.
were the last Thursday.
Okay, last Thursdays.
Okay. All
And,
right.
30th would be good.
Herbert.
Yvonne, one thing,
Oh, shoot, Arbor Days would be, Arbor Days right after that. Like days
About-
away.
Yeah.
We could do second.
Go ahead, Jerry.
Yvonne, you raised a concern about the no mow, just with ordinance with the city. Are we gonna have any problem for a month? Nobody mowing?
Well,
Yeah.
that's the thing. So you can't have an ordinance that says that your weeds can't be any higher than X.
So let's get
So-
the city council to proclaim
Yeah,
that.
contact right here.
Yeah.
The process, and we talked about that a little bit in the subcommittee meeting.
Double L.
Yes, but we took that off.
Laura was a
like-
little bit
You
like.
have to change it. You have to change it once.
She was like supportive,
Takes
like-
about 8
Right.
years.
I think the reason we stopped talking about it there was to like separate it from flooding,
Yeah.
separate it from stormwater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so. you'd have to,
Couldn't we,
like, change
couldn't the
that.
council just say like,
Or-
this year,
Everyone's
for the
forgetting
month
one
of
time,
May.
April.
like a mayoral proclamation?
Is that something you want to talk about in your council update, that one of your recommendations is that we amend that ordinance?
Yes.
We did talk about that. I was talking to Ginger.
Yeah.
Sorry. Well, we were talking about how could we not get people in trouble in April for not mowing and.
How do we move forward on
Yeah.
changing that ordinance?
And even if we just have to do it,
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
the inspectors would be writing tickets overtime.
so,
It's a good idea.
yeah.
Yeah.
So how do we do it? But also, could we even just do it like temporarily?
Yeah. can you
That's how
get an
things work
exception?
where I work. You just do it temporarily long enough that it becomes actual.
We're gonna try to.
We have one mowing sabbatical.
So if we talk again to council in January and recommend that, are we doing March or April? Or?
April,
April
no,
is when our grass starts.
no mow in April.
Recommend an exception to the ordinance for April and then, maybe.
How do we change it?
Right.
Or how do we change it? If we can't do it by April, can we have an exception for April and the mayor proclaims? Yeah.
I like
April,
it. We can
no.
prepare a letter by then, by January, or February, if we want to do it in a more formal way.
And that's
Well,
why
I think at that, on the 15th, you could just ask.
Oh, so this month.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I think float it out there.
yeah, we can get going. Yeah, I might need more time.
I mean, I definitely think
I'm
there's.
throwing a lot at you.
Saying
I'm
you
okay
send
with that. Okay.
articles you can show to the council, because this has been in the Washington Post and all over everywhere. People
Oh,
are really,
bad. All right.
Well, you don't have to sell it to them. You're just bringing it up. This is what we're talking about. And we really, how should we proceed with
So
this?
this is what's gonna happen.
But, Yvonne, there's a precedence, because
Emily's just sitting here very quietly.
Jerry, what's up?
there's a precedence because Yvonne, you started no mowing in certain areas of Webster.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes, we're breaking it.
I mean, it does fit in with those other things that we've been talking about
Right.
with Scott, with parks.
think of the water this grass will hold.
And I guess if we could find it, it always helps to have somebody who's done it first. So if there's another municipality around who's gotten rid of that ordinance, that we
Maplewood,
could,
hasn't Maplewood
you
gotten rid of
know,
it?
mirror
I don't know. if
that.
got rid of it,
that always
but
helps.
Webster Groves is leading. charge.
That's
Let's-
right.
let's-
So that's another way to pitch it, right?
Let's
But I think
be,
there's
Let's
some
be the
support for
change.
that.
let's be the
Trying to
change.
figure out how
Be the
to
change you
get
want
a
to see.
spirit in the process.
Okay,
Carrie,
yes, Jerry.
one more thing, angle is, part of the mayor's Monarch Pledge. One of the 30 action items is to reduce mowing in common areas, which
I picked the wrong commission.
The
rebels.
Okay,
That's good.
We can get the paper to do a big story on this.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay, so,
Okay.
back
so
to the schedule. We've got January, dark skies. February,
Is we don't have.
we don't have anything
so
yet.
We could do, let's see, on replacement strategies, this is where Caverly might be good, because he's done these huge campuses. And his presentation is quite, it's very engaging.
He does a lot of stormwater.
That's, well, these huge like office parks and stuff, they just begged him to.
Just a big time storm.
So.
Well, that's a good time to talk about that kind of thing, because people are getting jazzed about it.
Yeah.
So we could put him in February.
Yep.
And then we have April, which is gonna be water.
Yeah, but March will be,
Oh, March.
March will
Pollinator.
be,
Pollinators.
yeah,
Although with the scheduling, do we know if we're doing second, third, or fourth Thursday, given Arbor Day and spring break?
well, March will definitely do
The last Thursday.
yeah, I
Last
think we should
Thursday's
just
right
do,
before Arbor Day, isn't
no, in March?
April's usually Arbor Day
it? Okay,
towards the end.
Oh, towards the end.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
there's,
fine.
when is, there's Missouri Arbor Day and National Arbor Day.
First.
Yeah.
Can't we kind of choose our own?
Yeah.
We can
April
pick
first-ish.
Yeah,
So wait, what did we decide for February? Sorry, what, for the
I
notes?
already forgot.
dark skies.
Caverly.
Caverly,
Caverly.
Chuck Caverly talking about
In February.
lawn
Lawn replacement.
replacement
Okay.
with native. I
And
like
then
it.
March is gonna be no mow months with. These ones gonna be pollinators and Dr. Spivak perhaps.
No,
Camilla
Camilla.
or Brent.
Right.
Dr. Camilla or Dr. Brent.
And then April, May, we could do the stormwater.
Yes.
Two-part
series.
Two-part, May being in Larson Park.
Yes.
do many people mow their yards in March? Because I do only once at the most.
Well, they,
Not
we,
really.
well, we want to
April.
talk about it ahead of it,
Right.
Yeah.
right?
But what month are we gonna call it? Are we gonna call April the no mow month?
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool.
And then that's a good month because typically it's not till the end of the month where it starts to get sort of.
It's just by May, all our leaves are out. We started in England, came over to New England
Right.
here and then to Wisconsin and they're so much further north. they're much
okay, so that's all the way through May. And then I guess we just need to decide. We'll have Arbor Day will just land in the middle of April. Okay,
And then we have the summer to think about and then that's our outdoor stuff.
I think I would highly vote for another native plant walk and resource
Swap.
yeah. So I don't know if that should be, when did we do that last year? Does anyone remember? I feel like it was June or
Yeah.
Well, we did it in September, but
it was fall.
it was fall, and but I think it'd be better if we did it earlier. Season when
Get some seeds out.
when they can actually see a live.
Yeah, I think July and August would be more conducive to see a bunch of pretty native plants.
Well, that's true. June kind of just.
So maybe let's do the swap in July or August.
Okay.
Which is 1,000 degrees,
We have a few
incredibly humid.
times to think about.
Okay,
It's probably enough.
for now.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else about potential upcoming events? All right. Then the new business I wanted to cover was to do a brain dump for Corin about what so
What should I cover?
as I mentioned before, we've been invited to give an update to council on the 15th. So besides perhaps mentioning this, how do we get going on the no mow thing? Other things that we want to talk about. I think are the green our city, we've done that. So that would be good to talk about. The volunteer pollinator patrol stuff. Trees of distinction.
Many PowerPoint slides on this? Can I show a PowerPoint?
Yeah.
It might be good for
If
me
you
to,
do, you'll have to get them to me pretty quickly and just,
Okay.
you can only just do a couple.
just a couple,
Slides, yeah, unless
literally two.
you can load it up on. One of the Dropbox or something like that, if you can, I could
Put it on
probably,
Google Drive.
that might work, I think. I think it will.
Talk, email.
Yeah, and then I'll just hook you up directly with Katie Nakazono and then she can pull it from there, but I wouldn't put too many.
Yeah, I was just thinking a couple slides to show accomplishments of ours.
Okay.
Might be nice.
Okay,
Something with Green Our City, something with Make a Difference Day. Just to be like, here's things Green Space has been doing. Also, change your ordinances.
Right. Use this mowing one, please.
And the mayor's monarch pledge.
Oh, yeah, there's Margaret.
Yeah.
And
That's always fun.
I know Jerry has, you've got a PowerPoint slide on that, right, Jerry? Or a
Sure.
couple?
Uh-huh.
Yes, so can you send that to Corin?
Uh-huh.
Just your latest and greatest,
Excellent.
and then I'll send you a couple slides. And you can just take whatever you want from
yeah, I
them.
have a couple good pictures you might want from.
Okay. So, real quick, the basic plan is review our accomplishments regarding Green Our City, Make a Difference Day, Pollinator Patrol, and also discuss the plan for no mow, tying it into the Monarch Pledge, and ideally the collaboration with sustainability on pushing forward a master water plan, master stormwater plan, to build what we already have, develop and amend what we already have.
Did you say speaker series?
Oh,
So I
Didn't
can
mention
get on
that, but I'm gonna, boy, am I running out of time here.
Gonna be fast.
All right, speakers here, I'm just. Gonna be me, just like go and go through my two slides.
Okay, so I'm happy to email back and forth to you, Corin, to kind of,
Good, I'm gonna need some emotional support.
yeah. I really appreciate you doing this.
I mean, sometimes like if, would you say you're gonna be there anyway?
I think so, yeah.
I think it sometimes helps to have like a backup in the audience, to,
When I
like.
start crying.
I'll be like.
Just remember, if you're talking, you have to go to the
reiterate.
podium.
Yes.
Cause it's all Zoom and stuff. People
Okay.
go, you're coming.
Or that kind of thing though, right?
Yeah, I
Do that all the
public
time.
speaking.
Yeah,
Right.
It's-
I think it'll be good. I'll make sure you get.
Okay. Any other new business we need to? Okay, then we've got. You good?
Yeah, I was just kind of bring this up so that I get your approval to start promoting these talks. I was gonna meet with Jamie and we're gonna decide maybe together we could go to the paper and explain that we're launching this at Green Space Commission and try to talk to John Corrigan to do a piece, at least one, and get him on just about us. But if he could print something that we're launching the series, that will, we could just.
Yeah.
And I thought I didn't want to do that because we need to do it now. He needs time to write this stuff out. Is that you're okay?
I'm great with that.
Yeah, I think you moved ahead.
Yeah.
Enough time.
Okay,
And I think if he could write something about the no mow and.
right. That's what I'm gonna.
I think that would be
I'm gonna
great.
try and organize this so that he can. Under the umbrella of what our Green Space Commissions do and that we're launching these various initiatives. a nice neat package.
Yep.
So
That sounds great.
I'll send you a draft. So screw that thing. But they have to work. it. So-
Yeah, I'm glad we're fitting some things out. We've been in limbo for a little while. Okay, so then I think we're done. New business. Emily, do you have an update?
Sure, well,
Right.
I wanted to congratulate Yvonne, she's got an award, right?
You did.
For the Federated Garden Clubs of Missouri.
Nice.
Well deserved.
What was the award?
It was a surprise. The ladies at Rui, they applied for the award for me and they got me to come over under the premise of some advice about some plants. So the picture they took was, I wasn't prepared. But it was really nice, very touching. And it's all the stuff that, we've been pushing for. So that was, I look at it as everybody's success.
Good to have that recognition. Congrats. Yeah,
Congratulations. You deserve it.
yeah, absolutely. The other thing that's been kind of top of mind has been the flooding buyouts or potential flooding buyouts. So we talked about that at council last week. I don't know how many of you were able to kind of see that or heard some of the talk about that, but it kind of fits into what we've been talking about with stormwater management. And so I just thought I'd mention it and see if anybody has anything that they want me to know about that. So just a little bit of background. We had mostly at the end of Pacific and Forest, but there's a house on Coolman also that were deemed to be significantly damaged by FEMA. So there's a whole like formula that Mara's office has to do to apply to it to figure out like how big is the building, how much was damaged. And so the city has submitted notices of intent, I guess, or notice of interest, not intent, interest to possibly buy out the property through FEMA and SEMA. So there's 6 properties that are significantly damaged. Two of those have been damaged in the past, so they're considered some repetitive loss. So if FEMA approves it, FEMA's portion, they would pay 90%. The city would need to pay 10%. The other 4 properties, it'd be a 75-25 split. The language is always like up to 75, so we're not sure if it's 75-25 or if it could be less than that, but that's what they're talking about. The other properties would be 75-25 as well, but they're not as damaged, and so they're in kind of a separate packet. So we have 3 notices of interest right now, one for the 2 repetitive damage, one for the 4 other significantly damaged, and one for the other. So altogether, it's just under about $1 million that it would cost to buy out all of those. If we did the 6 that were significantly damaged, it's just under 400, I think. So it's a significant amount of money, and we've had budget issues. We've really been trying to get our annual expenses to be less than our annual revenue so that we don't have a structural deficit in a given year. We have a fund balance, but it's only going to last so long if we have a deficit every year. And so the question is like, the questions are like, it's complicated, right? Like, is this how we want to spend city dollars? Should those properties be bought out? Should we, or do we not want to do that? Like, kind of what are the priorities? How do we want that land to be used? If FEMA agrees to buy them out and the city pays our portion, then the properties are raised and nothing can be built there.
So turn parkland to the.
Basically, I
Open
think
space.
they're all adjacent to Deer Creek. So they would basically become that. We couldn't put any park buildings, but I'm sure we could do some kind of like, wetlands or green space or
Planting, yeah.
plantings and things like that, just no structures. So, I mean, it is a budget question because it is a big chunk of money, and those properties would come off the tax rolls as well, so that's a
And
consideration
then
for
they're
people.
long-term maintenance.
And then it does
Yeah,
increase
as
maintenance
well.
for the Parks Department, so. We grappled with it last week, if you want to see the grappling. That's all recorded, no decisions have been made, we won't have an answer from FEMA for maybe 1.5 years.
Wow.
So it's really hard for the homeowners because they need
Well,
some
they all
grants.
want it to happen, right?
Well, we've only requested buyouts for people who said, I want to buy out. So all of those properties are people who said, yes, please buy me out.
Wow.
So they're kind of waiting for like, what should I do? Should
So they're in
I?
limbo big time.
Yeah.
Live in this.
They can't live, I don't think anybody's living in the significantly damaged ones and the other ones people are living in there. I mean, I went by after the MSD event that we had, and kind of looked to see, and I mean, it's grim, you know, I mean, you can still see, when you go to Deer Creek, you can still see like where the waters were, you can tell nobody can live there right now, so. I mean, for me, where I kind of landed in that is like, I know it's a lot of money, but if FEMA comes back and says that they approve it, I feel like that says something, like they've concurred that they shouldn't be there, and. So my kind of middle ground is, I think I would be okay with the 6 significantly damaged, but maybe not the ones that aren't significantly damaged. But you know, it's gonna happen again, and we're gonna be back here again, so.
It's just gonna keep getting wider, because it really did go much farther than it usually did.
Yeah,
And that's supposed to be getting better because of the Brentwood Pound stuff.
Right.
So
so.
if there's improvements being made and it's still going farther and farther, it's just gonna keep.
That is a question that we have with Brentwood Bound, and how did that maybe impact or not impact this? So Mayor Arnold did send a letter to the Army Corps of Engineers in Brentwood to see if they could take a look and just see if there's something about Brentwood Bound that could have exacerbated the flooding that we had in Webster. So that letter is out there. I don't think we've heard anything back on that yet, just to kind of understand. I think the goal is when Brentwood Bound is done, that it would possibly decrease our flood zone.
Right. It's
But we don't know what it does. While it's,
intermittently, like
While
while
it's
work
being-
is.
yeah,
Then we bunch of empty ground.
yeah.
Covered.
So that's that update. It's just like a lot of like, I don't know, there's really no great solution. You really feel for all of our property owners that are over there. So it's just gonna be incredibly hard. I mean, one option that was presented was council could decide we're gonna buy these out no matter what. And then hope that FEMA comes through, but then if FEMA doesn't come through, then we're on the hook for a lot more than
Oh, yeah.
that.
How much more? Like a lot more.
Yeah, it's like $3 or $4 million, I think so.
Mhm.
It's a lot.
Were you guys still working on a strategic plan or doing strategic planning? How is that going?
Yeah, there's our notes are right over there.
Nice.
Saturday, we've had 2 sessions, 2 Saturday morning sessions. So that's good, kind of step back to look at the mission and the values of the city, and then kind of some overarching goals that would play into that too, so. And we have a subcommittee that's meeting on that as well, so I think that's moving forward. Palomo and Sarah Riss have been facilitating that. So it's been good. And there will be a public engagement part of it. So once we get to a part where we have something that's like ready to show people on the mission, values and goals, we'll get that out to the public and staff to weigh in and let us know if we're in the right direction, if we need to. Make things.
All right.
Thanks for bringing that up. That's good.
You, I just have a couple, or just a question. Joe, what time is your get together on Thursday?
9
9 a.m.
9.
Okay. Did you need anything from me, projector?
So
No,
Okay,
we're
so
just gonna
just
wing it.
9 a.m. at Larson. And then we're gonna meet after that.
yes,
Talk about something that I don't remember.
Greener City,
Okay. And then,
Improvements.
I might not be able to stay for that.
okay, that might not happen.
oh, okay. Boards and commission party, have you heard?
I haven't heard anything, but I will ask about that.
So usually
9 on
there's some
Thursday?
kind of event for
That's
boards
so
and
early.
commissions, but.
I think it's not in the budget, but we talked about maybe doing something anyways. Okay.
Okay, other than that, I'm good.
All right.
So,
I think that's it then. So our next meeting I have here January 9th, because January 2nd, city all closed
It's a
on the
holiday.
2nd.
It's a holiday.
Okay, that's what I figured.
Today.
So it's January 9th,
At 5, right?
5, and I will stop writing 5:15.
I just don't wanna,
5.
well, for our new member,
Yes,
She's
5.
not confused.
Thank you. I already heard. I'm not gonna. 5 o'clock. Yeah, hopefully right here. On the 9th of January. Okay, thank you, Jerry.
Okay, thanks all.
Sherry.
If it's snowing, we can do it.
We could.
We know
That's
how.
right.
We're- we're-
Address and